Good morning. Hello from Creativation. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona at the Craft and Hobby Association trade show, and you see a character behind me. I think you know Julie Fei Fan Balzer, and she's going to give us a demo right here in the Brother booth. My name is Marjie Kemper. You can find me at marjiekemper.com. And if you are enjoying this video and you're here on the replay, please leave comments. Let us know where you watched from. And if you think your friends will enjoy it, please go ahead and share it by clicking the bottom button. Hello, Kaz. Good to see you. I'm going to turn the camera around to Julie now.
Hello. So I was just saying to Marjie, because of course you know she likes to make stencils and stamps and all kinds of fun stuff, and I said, why don't you draw something? And as soon as you draw something, we'll go ahead and we'll cut it out and we'll see how it goes out, and you can see just how custom it is. So far she has a gorgeous piece started.
Look at that.
It's just like
it's
the
a
most
masterpiece
stencil ever. And if you want to hand me the camera, I'll take some images of you drawing the rest of your stencil design.
Okay.
Here you go.
So how intricate can I go? Can I make it a mosaic?
You can go as intricate as you want. Just remember, the only limitation is, like, if you want this to be a frame, then it has to be completely colored in. Meaning the ScanNCut sees it, scans it, cuts it, you know. Hey Giselle, hey Teresa, thanks for saying hi, you guys. I appreciate that, and thanks for the heart.
Now, could it be a mask or does it need to be a stencil?
It can be either. It can be whatever you want. Because remember, you're going to get both the negative and the positive of it. So it's either a stencil or a mask. It doesn't matter because you're getting both.
All right. So do we have time for me to color in this whole thing?
We do, and actually this marker happens to have a fatter tip at the other end.
Not your first rodeo.
Which is why it's one of my favorites to create stencils with, obviously, because it just makes it so super easy. And thanks for all the hearts, you guys. I appreciate that. So remember, if you want to take a design you've drawn, you can print something out. You can like see something that you like, and you can go ahead and you can trace it. You can do whatever it is. I know that Margie's loving all the thumbs up, and Kaz Hall is saying, "Go, Margie," which is totally awesome. But remember, this is your kids' drawings. This is things that you see on the computer. This is clip art that you have. This is, I mean, I've literally taken a doily home from under my cappuccino and thrown that into the scanning mat. You can cut out snowflakes and stuff like that, and then of course scan them in, because anything you want is, a file. So this is my first time doing Facebook Live, and Margie said to me that it was super awesome, amazing, and it was super fun because people chatted with you and hung out, and so far so true.
Now, what if I color outside the lines? Is my stencil going to be all warped?
So it's not going to be warped, but the scanner is going to pick up everything you do. So if you did your handwriting, it would be every little dot and design that you did. If you did,
Can I do that? Can I write my name in there?
Yeah, you can do anything you want. Teresa Gonzalez says, make it artsy, Margie.
I want to.
And hey, Mega Thacker, thanks for sharing the video. I really appreciate that. Ooh, Margie.
Does this need solid also?
So if you want the heart to be a solid piece, yes.
And what if I want just the silhouette?
If you want just the silhouette, then it's totally fine.
So all these things will come out?
Yeah, everything's going to come out.
This is going to be dangerous.
I know.
When I got here, I said I'm not into this whole electronic stuff.
She did. She literally came over. She's like, you know what, Julie, I don't actually think I need an electronic cutter, but whatever, if you want to show it to me. And I was like, oh, baby.
Because all your videos, you're so enthusiastic, I really wanted to see it. All right, this could be trouble. How's that?
Okay, looks awesome. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Shall we switch?
Rock this. Yes,
okay.
Here we go. Okay, so now I am going to take this and I'm going to go ahead and put it into the scanning mat. Now, I know from experience that there are a couple things in here to just think about, which is probably everywhere here that's sketchy, the scanner's going to pick out, but it's okay because I'm going to show you how to delete that out. Remember, you can edit anything in ScanNCut. It makes it super easy. So it's a completely standalone machine if you're not familiar with the ScanNCut, and we're going to do something called scan to cut data. I will describe what these other three are as well, okay? So direct cut is if you were fussy cutting out your stamp images or an image from paper or fabric. Scan to cut data is creating a cut file, and scan to USB is this is a large format. That means 12 by 12 inch scanner. So you could scan your pages, your anything like that that's flat that can go through here, except that you know what I just did is I put this in crooked. Oh, I'm such a bad demo artist. Let's see how this goes now that I put it in crooked. But it means that you can really scan anything that you want into here, and it makes it super easy because the scan to the last scan choice will output it as a JPEG, and I think that's kids art, any flat scrapbook pages, anything like that. So the scanner inside the machine will take a minute to go ahead and recognize that, and once it sees the image and it scans it in, then we'll be ready to edit it, manipulate it, turn it into anything. And remember, you can cut virtually anything up to 2 millimeters. So we're talking about leather and all kinds of stuff.
And while Julie was talking, there was a little time clock going. I can't believe how quickly it's finished.
There you go. So you can see where the paper got pulled because I put it in slightly wrong because the image is slightly pulled here.
Right.
Kind of funny, right?
Yeah.
But we're going to go ahead and we're going to choose the scan, and you can see it's pulling around the image completely. And I'm just going to go ahead and pull this in. We're going to live with a slightly imperfect image because, as we know, there are no mistakes, only creative opportunities.
Right.
And I'm just going to make the scan really, really tight because I want every little part of Marjie's handwriting. And once I've done that, I'm going to say okay, and I'm going to save it. Now I have 4 choices for saving. I'm going to be able to save it into the machine, wirelessly to ScanNCut Canvas, to a USB thumb drive, or with a cable to my PC. And I can actually save it to more than one place. So I can save it into the machine, and then once it's done saving into the machine, I can actually save it again, and I can again save it wirelessly to ScanNCut Canvas, you know what I mean? So I can play around with all sorts of different things in terms of where to save it. So once all of that's done, I'm just going to go home because just like Dorothy, there's no place like
home.
And then we're going to go to Patterns, Save Data, and it's going to be the last thing that we saved into the machine. So here it is. So now I want to go ahead and I want to clean up all the little bits. So do you see the little red box? It's a very, 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 very little.
On the bottom right corner.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
we might have a little glare from the light.
That's a little messy mark. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete out all of my little tiny messy marks. Because again, the scanner in the ScanNCut is a 300 DPI genuine, wonderful Brother scanner. And what that means is it's catching every scribble, every mark, everything that you've done.
You're saying it's saying I didn't color perfectly? Is that?
I'm saying you were perfectly Marjie, and now I'm making it perfectly cuttable.
All right.
So I'm just cleaning out all these little marks, and once I've done that, one of the things that I like so much about doing this is that you can actually then save this file and overwrite the original saved file. So you have to do this once, and then you have this file forever and ever and ever, and a little past ever. So I'm just going to keep on deleting out any stray marks that I see where things are just kind of not quite right. You can see how that goes just like that.
I love that you're not having to manually do a little, what's the word, like a
you
stylus?
You don't have to touch it, because if you'll notice what I'm doing is I'm just navigating with the arrow keys when I want to go beyond something. If it hits on something that I want to keep, I just go ahead and do those arrows. So now, see, like here, it's grabbing the big part, and I don't want that. So I'm just going to hit the arrow, and then it's going to go ahead and grab a little tiny piece for me, which is exactly what I do want.
Great.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to flip the camera around for a minute while Julie's doing that, and say welcome to anybody who's tuned in during the video and those who are watching the replay. I'm Marjie Kemper. I'm at the Creativation Trade Show in Phoenix, Arizona. This is the Brother booth, and I'm here with Julie Fei Fan Balzer, who's giving us a demo. If you are enjoying this, please click the share button at the bottom so your friends can see, especially those who are paper crafters and fabric users, because they will be very interested in this machine. Thanks so much. I'll turn you back to Julie.
Okay, so it looks like I have cleaned this file up pretty darn well. I'm just clicking through to make sure everything looks good.
Thanks for the hearts, guys. That's great. We appreciate it.
Yeah, so once I feel like my file is nice and clean and everything looks great, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all the parts like that, okay?
Right.
And then I'm going to unify them. So now it's one big piece. Can you see this? So now I can move it as one. And this also means I can resize it. So I can change the size, but I don't even have to keep the same aspect ratio. I can actually go ahead and make it just wider, but not taller. You can flip
that's
it,
pretty cool.
I know, to reverse it if you're cutting it out of vinyl or anything like that. And then one of my favorite things that I can do, this is a little fancy, is I can actually ungroup it. And then let's say, for instance, I'm just saying, that one of the things you wanted to do is like just change the size of one portion of it, no problem. What you would do is you would just go into the selection tool, and you can zoom in here, and then I would just make sure that I've selected both parts of this heart, touch to select.
By both parts, you mean what I drew and what's on the inside?
Yeah, exactly. So the two parts of it, or like just select, you know, a little heart, or again, remember, you can use the selection tool here. Hold on a second, I'll show you, where you just go ahead and grab like a portion of it. So let's say you just want to go ahead and grab that one little heart right there. Okay,
I see. That's
just like that. Right. So now you've selected that. So you're going to say okay, and let's just group that part individually. And now let's change just the size of that heart. Let's make it just taller, but not wider. Okay.
This is
and so
crazy.
now I know the thing is it's so customizable. Everything's really easy, and I can move it to a different place. Okay, so I'm just customizing little parts of it. But once I'm happy with it, what I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and group everything together, unify it, and now it's time to cut. So I don't have any stencil material with me, but I have plenty of pattern paper.
Great.
So we're going to go ahead and cut it out of our pattern paper.
It's a good way to use that up too, right?
I know, and let's say, by the way, speaking of using things up, let's say you only had part of a piece of pattern paper. No problem. You put it down onto your mat anywhere you want. You can put it in the middle, you can put it at the top, you could do whatever you wanted, but you only have a little bit of material. If you're cheap like me and you want to be able to conserve stuff and not have to worry about it, what I can do at that point is I can go ahead and I can scan my material in. And this is great when you have like a pattern you want to use and you want a fussy cut out. Like let's say you have some paper that you've painted and part of it's red and part of it's blue and part of it's green and you want to just cut something out of the part that's like blue.
Right.
You can see it on the screen so that you can do that.
So you can position your design wherever you want.
Exactly. So this is really dark. I can't really see my file. No problem. Let me just lighten up the background and now I can see it much better. So I can go ahead and I can place it wherever I want on here.
So she just dragged the image on the screen with a little
With my little stylus tool. That's all. And you could use your finger too. I mean, it is a touch screen. So you can do whatever you want.
That's fantastic.
And once that's done, I'm going to say okay. Okay. And I'm going to say cut. And I'm going to go ahead and say start. Now it's going to give me a time amount. It's going to say it's going to take 2 minutes. So if it's 1 minute and 59 seconds or if it's 1 minute and 1 second, it's always going to say 2 minutes.
Oh, okay.
It rounds up to the nearest one and you kind of don't know what it is.
And it's just whipping along there, making those cuts. Yeah. Oh, I can't wait to see what comes out.
And remember, this is one of my favorite ways to use up, like, we all know that when you make an ugly paper, I mean, there are no ugly papers, there's just untalented people. I'm just kidding. No, but what you do is, like, you cut them up and it makes them look better. And so, like, what I do all the time is I'll cut, like, hearts or circles or squares or just something using the ScanNCut to do it.
So Karen Hall Lambert says, this is great. Guys, we're almost wrapping up here in the Brother booth with Julie Fei Fan Balzer. So if you have any questions for her, please go ahead and ask them now. And we're getting ready for the big reveal. I see the timer just went from 2 minutes to 1 minute. And like Julie was saying, it might not even take that long.
It's pretty cool and it's easy. And remember, you could be cutting this out of fabric, out of vinyl, out of leather, out of stencil material, out of foam. I make foam stamps all the time. I recently posted on my Instagram feed a whole bunch of foam stamps that I cut with the ScanNCut. You can actually, if you've heard of Thermofax screen printing, you can fake up Thermofax screens really easily using your ScanNCut and some heat applied vinyl. So no need to buy a $1,200 Thermofax machine. You can just create your own custom files using your ScanNCut and a little bit of window shear, which is really awesome.
Question for you on all those different fabrics then. Are you putting in a different blade or are you just adjusting?
So just like you have a fabric blade and a paper blade, it's the same blade. Like it's a standard blade either way, but you know, paper dulls your scissors. So it also dulls your blade. So I have a dedicated paper blade and a dedicated fabric blade. I also have a dedicated watercolor paper blade.
You guys, it's the big reveal.
Because watercolor paper is super woody. Okay, so I think...
Look how easily it's coming up. Oh my goodness.
Look at the little swirl on that thing.
Can I just lift this up?
So cool, yeah, absolutely.
Or can you lift it?
I can lift it up, and also I can weed out, as they say, all the little bits. Like remember, the inside of everything has come out, so you can get rid of, you know, and again, like Margie was saying, is it a stencil or a mask? You get both halves of it, so if you had done anything, but look.
So this is what I drew. This isn't a Sharpie on the back of an old piece of scrapbook paper.
Yeah.
And this... I now have a mask and a frame. Oh my God, Julie.
So cool, right?
This is really dangerous.
This is the thing, like I totally was like, I don't need a cutting machine. And then I started to use it and I geeked out about all the things that it was going to be so much easier to do.
And can you just lift up that open heart so we can see that it's...
Oh, baby.
There's nothing in there. It's just, it's exactly what she says in all of her videos. This is why I came over to the booth. I was like, you're so enthusiastic.
I can see you.
Show me it's true.
I love you.
Awesome. Well, wow. Yes, I agree with you, Mega. Wow. And Teresa wants to know, how long does a blade like this last?
So it depends what you're cutting. If you're cutting something really woody like watercolor paper, and that's why I said I have a dedicated watercolor paper blade, it tends to dull it more quickly. If you're cutting a lot of cardstock, I mean, I probably change my blade every 3-4 months, something like that. It's really not bad, and blades are $10.
You guys keep giving those hearts and likes, and let Julie know that Mega really needs one now. I'm with you, Mega. I'm with you. I think I've gone over to the dark side. Okay, well, this was great. I'm really glad we got to talk with Julie. I don't know if you're aware, but she's got an awesome podcast. I listen to every one, so check her out on iTunes. You'll really enjoy it. Thank you for the hearts. Oh, you got some wows now, Julie. We are rocking and rolling. All right. Thanks again for your time. And thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to try to do one more today. Today is the last day of the show. If you're just tuning in now, my name is Marjie Kemper. You can find me at my website, marjiekemper.com. Sign up for my newsletter to get more information. I'm a mixed media artist and workshop instructor. Talk with you soon. Have a great day. Thanks again for sharing. Bye.